In this video, we are going to talk about the gallery block. So, the previous video I talked about the heading text block. Let's add the gallery block. And do note that you can change the visual representation of the code editor to keep the left tab bar here. But I've started to enjoy working in full screen mode. So, image and gallery block. Okay, as I've mentioned in other block videos, but I'll do it with all block videos. This here is the version number. It's more to keep me updated with what version a particular client is using, and also to help me track the relevancies of these videos. So don't feel like you've got a lesser version of the block because it's still at level 1. Level 1 happens to be the latest version as of this particular video. But if in the future it's level 5, it doesn't mean you've got a lesser version of the block. It's just how the block has evolved, and it's more for my kind of tracking. So it's not overly essential from your perspective. Block ID, this basically gives the ability for this particular block, so not the image gallery block as a whole, but only this instance of this block. If I give it an ID, it will tag that particular instance of the block, and I can then target that block and change its behavior or change its look. So if in the future you see a value in here, it's very important that you keep that value the same. So if you delete the block, try and remember what the value is and put it in the new block. If it gets lost, don't worry, we can recover it. But just be aware that if there's a value here, don't delete it, don't change it. That's very important. Okay, so this is the gallery block. Essentially, this is what you will use if you want to display any form of image at any point during the website. So it gives you the ability to add a gallery or a single use image. So let's show you what that looks like. So the first option, gallery or single image, pretty straightforward. Do you want a gallery or do you want just a single image? So let's start with single image. That's the easiest. So it removes a lot of the features. Let's move this block to the top so it's easier. So yeah, we're on single image. Do you want to have image captions? That's the ability to add a little tagline to the image. It's not very often used. I mean, if you're doing a lot of blog posts or long-winded articles, then image captions can be very useful. Otherwise, you're generally probably not going to use those. So that's what that is. You can click that on yes or no. Notice that when I click image captions, that this option over here disappears. So overlay with links, I will get to you shortly. You can't have both captions and overlay with links together. It's just not an option. So let's start with just the captions and let's add the actual image itself. Let's add this little horsey and let's update. So we'll go to the front end of the website and we've got this nice large picture of the horsey, and this is the caption that I mentioned here. So if I turn that off, update, refresh, that will now not be present. Let's click overlay with links. So notice we've now got this link here added. So that's gone, that's now present. So this basically adds a link on the top of the image. So let's go to articles, view all my articles. So let's show you what that looks like. Refresh. So nothing obviously happens straight away, but as I hover in, it will have the link here. And then obviously if I click on that, it will take me to my articles page. So that's what that does. And obviously the style will change depending on your particular theme. I'm going to change this horse to an image that's a little bit less long. Okay, so that's the single image. And we've got links and we've got captions. Let's go to gallery. So again, we've got captions. I'll show you what that looks like. And again, notice that the overlay with links disappears. Whoops. Trigger happy here. Let's get rid of that, sorry. Okay, so captions, let's click yes. Image spacing, I will come to shortly. Crop images. This basically is an option. Do you want the images to be a consistent size, i.e. cropped, or do you want them to be displayed in their native resolution? So in this example, I'm going to upload the horse because it was a portrait photo, and then compare that with landscape photos next to it. The horse will keep its dimensions and the landscapes will keep its dimensions. So let's turn that on for the moment and I'll show you what that looks like. And then this is very important. How many columns do you want? So let's do 4. You can have a maximum of 6. And let's add the images. So click on the add the gallery. Here you can choose all of your different images. Let's add. You click on each image, you see the tick, and then, oh, actually, I don't want the polar bear. Click that, and it's now off. So you click those, select, and they all get added. And in here, you can drag the images to how you want them to appear. And notice you can see that the images are slightly different. So the horse is long, you can see that slightly. This image is slightly less tall than this one. So we've got a gallery, we've got captions, we've got the images being cropped, and we've got columns of 4. So let's show you what that looks like. I'll get to image spacing shortly. So that's the gallery here. So here are the captions on hover. If there's no caption, it will just say no caption. Again, depending on your theme, it may or may not be there with no caption. So that's with captions, and each image is cropped. So notice that each image is perfectly proportional to everyone else. So we've got this nice visual representation. My advice is this will be almost always what you use. There's very, very seldom a reason to not crop your images. So I'm going to show you what that looks like with the cropping off. It just looks a bit more garish in my opinion. Now, it just so happens that a lot of these images I have already pre-processed, so they have already been cropped to a specific size. So this image, and this one are natively raw as they are. And if you imagine all of your images all different sizes, it can look higgledy-piggledy. But some people want that view for a particular occasion, and so that option is there. But generally, we're going to be wanting cropping. And again, obviously, we can change the column order to how we want. So now we've got 3 columns. So notice this horse is back to being cropped. And then lastly, image spacing. That is the spacing between each image. So let's change that to 5 pixels. Note we've got now a space of 5 pixels between each one. Let's go to 15. 15 is the maximum, by the way. So you got this more of a collage type look. So again, that's the options that you have with that. So let's turn image captions on, turn overlay with links on. This changes the gallery slightly because what you need to do is assign each link to the image, so it's a little bit more cumbersome. There's no other way to do it, unfortunately. So let's click the horse again, add a link, articles, add another image, select the link, add, and let's do a third one more. Let's add this road, add a link, and this is just some random links. Okay, so I've done 3. I'll do 3 columns. And let's see what that looks like. So now when I hover, I'll get the link. And that will obviously take me to the articles page. So it's quite powerful because you can use the gallery in different ways. So here it looks quite nice having this layout, just 3 images with 3 columns. and it can, yeah, it can. You can do a lot of different layouts and different versions based on just those few features there. So that's the image gallery. Essentially, I'm just thinking, is there anything else? If for whatever reason you make a mistake, you can delete an image by clicking on that button and then clicking remove. And then again, we can click a plus button to add another image, etc. So that's the image gallery. And again, we can do the view, so you can see straight up what it looks like. And now all the settings for this gallery are over here on the right side. So I don't want that spacing anymore. Let's remove that, and you can see it's now changed it on the fly. Yeah, so that's the block gallery.